The Ministry of Health on Monday informed the public of the introduction of electronic monitoring devices to supervise people in home quarantine. According to officials, the surveillance of persons who are supposed to be sequestered at home due to possible exposure to COVID-19 will be achieved through the use of two electronic monitoring devices, namely the BioIntelliSense BioButton and the Amber wristwatch.
The BioButton is a disposable, one-time use body sensor about the size of a quarter, designed to be worn on the left side of the chest. It is small and unnoticeable. It monitors the vitals of quarantined persons who may be at high risk for developing COVID-19 disease. It also provides continuous temperature, respiratory rate, and heart rate measurements to the user. In so doing, it enables the early detection of potential cases.
Acting National Epidemiologist Dr. Dana Gomez says the other monitoring device, the wristwatch, resembles a smartwatch. But not only does the tool track patients, it also has biomedical applications in measuring the vital signs of persons in home quarantine. The use of these devices will come at a cost.
Through its geofencing capabilities, it ensures that persons wearing the device remain within the confines of their home as per home quarantine protocols. It also allows for the monitoring of vitals of the quarantined individual. This means that should persons develop symptoms during their quarantine period, this would be detected by the Department of Health. Through improved monitoring, this device will aid in the nation's COVID-19 response plan by limiting the spread of the disease, as it helps to ensure that persons remain at home during their quarantine period. The BioSticker will cost US $100 for the 14-day period, and the wristwatch US $75 for 14 days. As the Ministry of Health seeks to continue keeping St. Lucia, its citizens and all visitors safe, we look forward to your continued support of our efforts.
The technological tools were deemed necessary given the non-adherence of COVID-19 home quarantine protocols and regulations.
With the institution of home quarantine option, gaps have been identified, where a number of persons who have been granted that privilege have not been keeping with the requirements and have challenged the ministry's resources to keep track of them. Today, however, we announce improvements to our approach to home quarantine. Through the use of technology, we aim to improve the surveillance of persons on home quarantine.
Authorities concede that in the early stages of the pandemic, with limited knowledge of the disease, mandatory quarantine at state-run facilities were the order of the day. However, given improvements in disease management, home quarantine was allowed along with state-run quarantine. But the efforts of the public health authorities have been hampered by individuals who fail to stay at home, resulting in the implementation of tighter restrictions to safeguard the public. Joachim Duplessis, HTS News Force.